Hey Sagittarius, welcome to Aria Moon Tarot, and thank you so much for being here. This is your love reading for anyone with Sun, Moon, or Rising in Sagittarius. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't, check your other placements. All right, let's get started. So let's see. We have the Creator. If you identify as a creative soul, this is a lot about the creations that you want to put out into the world, how you want to express yourself, maybe some art that you want to do, or some other kind of form of expression. So this is about that kind of energy. We also have, which way does this card go? We also have Apocalypsis. This is kind of a disorienting card. So that might be some indication about the energy that's present here, or maybe some confusion that you have experienced. Maybe you'll get some clarity about some confusion. We also have the fault line. And finally, the poet. Okay. So, wow. I think that for you, the changes that are headed your way are going to be huge. Whatever they are, it's going to be huge. So hopefully you are looking for big shifts and big changes in your life, because I can't lie, when I look at this energy, it feels like something really big is going to be changing for you. Let me move these down. I had them a little bit too high up. Yeah, with this Apocalypsis card and this fault line card, it's really clear that major shifts and changes are coming into your life. And I have to be honest with you and let you know that whenever we have changes this massive take place in our lives, there is kind of a feeling of instability, maybe even discomfort that is inherent with this sort of change. And that's not because the changes that are coming into your life are bad. It's just that it can be a lot all at once. I am kind of getting the feeling for a lot of you that these are changes that you've probably wished and hoped for. But if there was any part of you that kind of held back a little bit, because even though you wished and hoped to create these changes, there's a part of it that kind of freaked you out a little bit. It was a little bit scary at the same time. It's like these things are now starting to unfold. So yeah, it might feel like a little bit of a shakeup to your foundation. And that's just to say that it's going to be a shakeup to what you're used to. And if you were hoping for changes in your life, then you don't really want more of what you're used to, because more of what you're used to is just more of the same, and you want something new and different in your life. But yes, if there is kind of an element of being a little bit uncomfortable as these changes kind of implement into your life, that wouldn't be surprising to me, because it does feel like it's quite big. It kind of looks like the kind of change that's actually, like it could be classified as giving birth to a brand new version of yourself. Yeah, with this creator energy. And that's sort of, I think that might be the perfect analogy for you. So if you are kind of in this this space of giving birth to a brand new version of yourself, of course it's beautiful, and it may be something that you've waited for. The same as a baby being born. Like, babies are beautiful, wonderful little blessings, and you know, their parents wait to welcome them into the world, but we can't deny that the process of birthing that baby can be a little uncomfortable for mama and for baby. So there's a little bit of discomfort inherent in this, but it's also the most beautiful process that could possibly happen. You know, bringing new life and bringing in this new version of yourself is a really beautiful process. along with that analogy, I mean, I do have to say, for some of you, some of this big change that could be coming into your life could be welcoming a new baby. You'll kind of know if you're in that boat, if you are expecting a little one, but that could be energy that I'm picking up on for all of the future parents out there. And as you can imagine, welcoming a new human into this world can create a lot of massive change, and can kind of throw you into a whole bunch of new life experiences. So for some of you, that may resonate, and that might be something that you are on the journey to. You might be on the journey to becoming a parent. You might have just had the idea and the inclination and the desire, and this could be a sign that some of your hopes and dreams in that area will be coming true in the near future. So if that's something you've looked forward to, that's definitely confirmation for you. But the bottom line here is that you've felt a lot. You've felt this change coming for a long time. I think that this is something that you've sensed. This fault line card is sort of, it's a card of impending change, and you can kind of see the evidence of the impending change. So imagine like if this fault line was the ice on like a frozen lake or something, and it started to crack in this way, you would know that like eventually this ice is going to break. And if you were standing there, you would know you're going to fall through eventually, because you're seeing the signs, you're seeing the cracks, you're seeing that change is coming. And I think that for a lot of you, there has been kind of a sense that change is coming in your life, and you might even have this feeling of anticipation to figure out what that change is, or there might be particular areas of your life that you are really looking to create a change in, and you might be even a little bit anxious. It's like being nervous and excited at the same time is kind of the energy that I'm picking up on. I feel like for some of you, this might be change that you felt a little fearful about, maybe even something that you tried to prevent from happening. Yeah, it kind of feels like there is something like you might have wanted to hold back or something. Maybe a little bit of nervousness around this change. If that is the case, that feels kind of like a self-sabotage energy. Because I think that the change that's coming into your life, although it is massive, is really for your highest good. So anything that you might have done to try to prevent this change is really not helping you to evolve into the person that you want to become. And I think that deep down you know that. I think that every now and then the fear can creep up, and it can feel like it would be safer to stay the same. It would be a lot more comfortable to stay the same, but there's something kind of pushing you towards making some changes or allowing change to enter your life. Yeah, I really do get the feeling that there has been indications of this change, or some sort of inkling that you've felt. It could be that you've been kind of pulled in a certain direction, or you've heard the call about something, and maybe you felt like you wanted to ignore it. But I think that like if you are hearing the call when it comes to a certain aspect of your life, like when you just have that inkling, that whisper, that inner knowing that something needs to shift and change, or that you need to do this particular thing or go in this particular direction, and you try to ignore it, it never goes away. And I feel like that's the message coming in for you, that feeling is never going to go away. These cracks in the surface are not going to magically disappear. Once they're there, once the call has been heard, it's really hard to get away from it. So you may be experiencing that, where it's like you can't get away from this evolution. It's not necessarily that you want to get away from it. You might not want to run from it, but it can feel a little bit uncomfortable for you. I think that the challenge here is that deep down you know that a part of you really has to be completely destroyed in order for this new version of you to be created. And the idea of destroying everything that you've known and every part of yourself, or many of these aspects that you've identified with, is really scary. For some of you, this is about relationships and about connections in your life. So for some of you, these connections are things that you have known are not right for you, that are not serving you at the highest level, and you've kind of known that for a long time. You've seen the evidence of it. This can also be about certain career choices, or even areas of study, like maybe your major in school. It can be things like this, like where we know that we're not really on the right track with something. Like we kind of have that inkling, like this isn't right. And there's this part of you that wants to step into this role of creator. There's this part of you that wants to use your paintbrush to paint your life the way that you want to see it. I feel like, is that even what's happening here? That hand might be holding a paintbrush or something like that, but it's like you want to create your life the way that you want it to be, but then there are certain aspects that you kind of feel almost like you're too far down that road to turn back. And there's a little bit of resistance, there's hesitance, and when it comes to making these changes and stepping into this role of creator. Gosh, this happens to us so much. This has happened to me so many times, where it's like, okay, you know, maybe you take that job and you like it at first, or you think you're on the right track, and then your values change, your view changes, and you realize how time consuming it is and how much you want to pour your time into other avenues, and you realize how it's not feeding your soul, and how there's something else that you're more interested in and something else you would love to pursue. But at the same time, you're like, but I have this job and it's a great job, and well, it might not be a great job, but you know, maybe it supports me, and I'm too far in now to quit, or I'm too far into this major, into my studies. I'm close to getting my degree here. I don't want to turn around now. This can even be about relationships, you know, like a relationship that has kind of run its course and it's time for you to step away, but there's a little bit of resistance there. And this does not have to be romantic. This can be family members that you have known for a while are toxic for you. This can be friends that you've had that little inkling, like this person does not have my best interests at heart. And although you would love to be the person that's creating the life the way you want, the job, the family, the friends, the studies, whatever it is that you want, you would love to be that person that can kind of hold that paintbrush and make every little decision. There are certain areas of your life that you're like, that's not really working out the way that I would like for it to, but I don't know if I want to make any change, because I do feel the hesitance here. Now, I also see you moving past this. So you could have already gone through this energy. You're definitely moving past this with the creator and the poet. But what I am seeing here is that there have been indications of this change coming. And that indication can be just like a feeling that you get. It can also be because you look around and you notice that there are things that you want to change, or that there are things that aren't working for you. And that is your first indication of like a change is coming, because once you've noticed that, it's really hard for you to unnotice it. It's really hard for you to keep showing up to a job every day that's sucking the life out of you. That's really difficult to do. And if you never noticed it, then you could blindly just keep showing up every day. But once you know, it's like you really want to implement that change. There is kind of a feeling here that something, at least some areas of your life, like you want to kind of wipe the slate clean and start fresh and start building it from the ground up the way that you want it to be. So this is the major energy that's coming through for you in terms of changes and shifts. And your change and shift is major. It's really big because I think that these are areas of your life that dominate a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, and places where you really do want to make this change. One thing I want to say is that old and familiar can really give us the illusion of comfort. So maybe it's an old familiar relationship, one you've been in for a long time, or a friendship you've had for a long time, or it could even be like a sibling that, you know, they've always been there. So it's familiar. The way that it goes is familiar. The job is familiar, and you know what to do and you know when to show up. So it does give us this sense of comfort, but a lot of times it can be a false sense of comfort. Because it's only because we're used to it. But sometimes just because we're used to something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good fit for us. It just means that it's comfortable. So we could use the analogy of like some old ratty shoes. Like if you're going around in shoes that are completely worn out, and like maybe the sole is worn through completely and your feet are on the bare ground, and there's a part of you that's like, yeah, but I've been wearing these shoes for years and they're molded to fit my foot exactly, and I'm really used to them. It's easy for me to go and put on this pair of shoes every day because I'm totally used to doing it. But the reality of the situation is a brand new pair of shoes would be more comfortable. Like even though you're very familiar with those shoes, a brand new pair of shoes that functions properly would be way more comfortable for you. So I think that a lot of the shifting that's going on for you is you realizing that. It's you realizing that some of these areas of your life, and I'm pretty confident that you know what they are because of the Apocalypsis card and the Fault Line card. These are indications of like knowing that these areas have needed to change for a little while. It's just you coming to the realization that you have the power to change this, that you are the ultimate creator, that if something isn't working for you, no matter how big or how small, you can switch things around. You can create a situation that fits you, that fits your lifestyle, that fits your personality a lot better than whatever it is that you have. So some of you might be exploring the idea of a new schedule, a new way to manage your time. It could be as simple as that. Also new relationships. So some things might need to fall away so that new energy can be brought in. But this is really about you building your life from the ground up and figuring out what works best for you. Kind of following that intuition and those little inklings that tell you when something isn't working, and then making the appropriate changes. I think that the Creator card for me is a really fearless kind of energy. It's not just the fact that we tap into like our universal power and our universal connectedness to the greater whole, but it's also that we are fearless enough to take that leap and to implement changes. So that's what's really happening for you, is you're becoming fearless, and you're becoming someone who can dictate what goes on in their life, who can make changes that suit you. So the Creator isn't afraid of the void. The void is just sort of that empty space. If we think about like the beginning of all time and creation, if nothing had been created yet, then we were just in a void. We were just in a place of darkness. And then someone, the universe or God, or however you identify with this being or this force, someone had to step up and start creating things out of nothing, start filling that void with something. And that's what this Creator card really shows, because you see all of these vibrant colors like kind of bursting forth, but if you look around the edges of this card, this is all darkness. So this is suggesting that all of this came out of that void, came out, sorry, I'm not even holding it where you can see it. All of this vibrancy came out of this void and came out of this darkness. So this is really you. This is you stepping up and not being afraid of that. We can call it like a blank canvas. So I do think that a lot of you are probably pretty creative, and some of this might have to do with your art or some artistic expression. So if that's the case, you'll really get the analogy. Like, you're not afraid anymore of the blank canvas, and you're really stepping into the place of the person that can approach the blank canvas and who can put something beautiful on it. Because a lot of times that blank canvas can scare us away, because it's just like, it can be overwhelming. Just the nothingness of it can be overwhelming. So I can also relate this to like writer's block. I'm sorry if you can hear that. There's like a garbage truck or something outside, so it's making a lot of noise. I apologize. If you imagine like a writer sitting down in front of their computer screen, or maybe sitting down with a blank page of paper and just like staring at it, it can be a daunting experience. And I think that stepping into that creator energy can be daunting sometimes, because you do have to start from nothing. And sometimes you have to clear away the old and really start from ground zero. The beautiful thing is you can create whatever you want. You can write whatever you want on that page, or you can paint whatever you want on that canvas. But the challenging part is, you can create whatever you want. You can write whatever you want on that page, or you can paint whatever you want on that canvas. Like, the possibilities are endless, and that can be overwhelming sometimes. So I think that's why sometimes we don't welcome the change, because the idea that we have to decide what we want it to change into and actually implement some of that change can be overwhelming. But you are stepping into this creator energy big time. And you might have a lot of practice with this, because I am getting a lot of creative vibes from this group. You might have a lot of practice. And if you are a creator of any sort, you can use that energy and those lessons that you've learned to figure out how to manifest change in your life. So if you have faced the blank canvas, the blank page, or the whatever it might be, maybe you make clothing, and so you have stared at the bolts of fabric that had yet to be turned into like a beautiful dress, or whatever it is that you might want to make. You have been in that energy of like turning nothing into something, and that's what's happening inside of you. That's what's changing inside of you, is you're exercising this ability to turn nothing into something. And you're tackling some of these areas of your life that you have known needed to change for a while now. I think that one really important message that's coming through for you is that you don't have to feel ready for this change, and you don't have to feel prepared, and you don't have to have all of the tools and have all of the knowledge before you start this. You have everything that you need right now. The creator has everything that they need. The creator reminds me of the magician in the tarot deck. So the magician is card 1, and the magician has all the tools that he needs to succeed, all of the tools that he needs to create anything that he wants in that entire deck. So in a lot of ways, the magician is the most powerful. Sure, he's starting out at the beginning of the cycle, but because he has the choice and the ability to become any other aspect that's represented in that deck, there's so much potential there, and he can find himself in any position, whether it is viewed positively or negatively. He can find himself in any position in the deck because he's got everything he needs to get there. So that's kind of the energy that you are embodying. You are stepping into your power, and you are, I think, in a lot of ways standing up for yourself, because whether this has to do with other people or if this is just about you, this is about you noticing what is working for you and what isn't, and standing up for yourself enough to create the change that's needed. Just remembering that everything you need is already in your possession. And I think what you really have to keep in mind is as you continue down this road, as you continue on this journey, you just gain more. You gain more experience, you gain more knowledge, you'll gain the particular tools and materials that you need to do whatever this is. You'll even gain more creativity and more confidence in your ability to create. Yeah, I do get strong artistic vibes from this pile. So there might be something that you really want to express or share. This is kind of the energy of you doing that. This is also the energy of psychic gifts. So there might be a lot of downloads coming to you at this time. There might be a lot of energy in terms of you connecting with your spirituality. And these might be huge changes that you are implementing in your life at this time. So let's jump into the tarot and see what else we can pull out of this, what other messages might come through for you. The changes can never to expect. Whoa, that's way too many. I did notice the Three of Wands, but that was like so many cards, so we won't take all of that. But the Three of Wands can indicate travel. It can indicate plans coming to fruition. So more of that kind of creator energy coming out with that. We have the Seven of Wands, so more Wands energy. I was picking up on a lot of creativity with this group, so it doesn't surprise me to see a lot of this fiery, passionate energy. Let's see what else. Oh, okay, you have the Naked Heart. So the Naked Heart is a card that is unique to this deck. It's actually an additional card. So a little bit of a bonus card. I love when it comes out because it holds a really special message that you wouldn't find in any tarot deck. So it's always really special to me when I see that card come out. Let's grab one more card for you. We have the Universe. So this is the World in traditional tarot. I don't know why, but I feel compelled to shuffle the deck again. So I don't know why. I just feel guided to do that. So I will do that. And we have the Ten of Wands. Okay. We did have Temperance at the bottom of the deck, so I'm pointing that out because Temperance is all about patience, and you might need to implement a little bit of patience when it comes to making all of these changes. You might have to wait a little while for everything to settle down. So yeah, I thought I would just point this out. But I think that sensing this change coming for a long time might have caused a lot of stress in you. And I just have to say that this is really a time for you. This is a time for you to do what's best for you. This is a time for you to start creating things the way that you want them to be. I feel like a lot of what's happening for you is just you stepping into your creative power and you finding your voice in a lot of situations so that you can like let people know what's working for you and what's not working for you, and even letting yourself know what's working for you and what's not working for you, like being really honest about what needs to change. I think you're moving into a space where you're going to honor yourself a lot more, and maybe even stop putting the needs of others first all the time, because I'm really seeing that with this Ten of Wands energy. And again, more wands. So you are a very, very passionate person, and there's a lot that you feel passionate about and a lot of things that you want to implement into your life. I think that with this Ten of Wands, it really tells me that you tend to take on a lot of other people's baggage, a lot of other people's problems, and sometimes you don't fully, like, you're not able to fully explore and realize your own dreams because you're too busy helping other people create their dream lives. For some reason, what's coming through for me as I said that is a lot of this might have to do with your work environment, because I was kind of getting that feeling of like you coming to the realization that you're building your boss's dream life and you're not building your own. So of course that can apply to other areas of your life, but this is a feeling that sometimes we can find ourselves in when we realize, like, I spend all of my time working for this person doing this thing, and they're able to realize all of their dreams because of the work that I'm putting in, but my dreams are being left on the back burner. So this is really the energy of you stepping into this place of pouring a lot more of yourself, of your time, of your energy, of your creativity into projects that are going to benefit you directly, into things that are near and dear to your heart, things that you feel passionate about, and not kind of like carrying other people's burdens so much, and not carrying the weight so much. So some of you might be in situations where you feel like you carry the weight in relationships all the time, like you're the one doing all the heavy lifting and all the work. You may even feel like this at your job, or even in your education when you have to work with other people. It's like you're always the one doing all the work, and other people are sometimes reaping all the reward, or if not all the reward, then they're definitely getting like equal credit, and they didn't do equal work. And I think you're starting to see that, and you're starting to see that you need to put yourself first, and you need to make sure that you get the recognition that you deserve, and you need to make sure that the energy that you're expending is going toward building something that you can be proud of, and something that will support you and that you can depend on. I feel like it's the exact opposite energy of what's being depicted here. It's like, if all of these wands that are on this camel's back, if they were beneath the camel, maybe providing a strong structure for the camel to stand on, then everything would be reversed. But instead, these things are on the camel's back, and he's bearing the weight of them. It's almost like these wands need to work for him. These wands could be creating a bridge or a platform or something. They could even be built into a wagon or some sort of carriage that you could actually ride in. And so it feels like really putting your energy into something that's going to support you, that's going to help you thrive, that's going to help you grow, that's going to give you a leg up, rather than having all of the weight of it on your back all the time, and really almost feeling like a slave to it. I feel like a lot of you might feel like a slave to some of your responsibilities. And then that's not really the feeling that you want to implement into your life, that you really would rather feel like it's almost a reciprocal relationship. Like the things you spend your time and energy doing, they also feed you and they provide something for you. So yeah, there's this feeling of like not being drained anymore. I just want to let you know how much potential you have here. Like, there is a crazy amount of potential. And I can also say that sometimes people in this world don't want to allow your light to shine as bright as they know it will, if you're given the opportunity. So that's just something to keep in mind with this kind of 10 of Wands energy, this 7 of Wands energy. There could be people in your life that try to suppress this because they know that you're going to create massive change when given the opportunity. They know that you can step outside of the scenario that you might be in and just absolutely thrive. And because they doubt their own ability to do that, they can serve as a negative force trying to prevent you from realizing all of your dreams. So that's just something to keep in mind, because there's so much potential here. There's no way that those around you don't recognize that. So, of course, if they're wonderful people that have your best interest at heart, there's no reason for you to worry about that. But if you've had the inkling, and with this pile, I totally get the feeling that you're hella intuitive and you have feelings about this stuff. So if there's someone close to you and you're like, I don't know if they really want the best for me, really give weight to that, because your instincts aren't wrong. And when you sense that something needs to change, you know it. So we also have this Naked Heart card. Like I mentioned, it's a special card in this deck. And this card really talks about calling in everything that you need to stay in alignment and to stay on your path. This is about what the universe is highlighting. Highlighting your gifts and really asking you to trust yourself and to trust your intuition, which I think is a repeated message here. So something that might be changing for you is developing more trust in that intuition. Maybe even getting in touch with your intuition a little bit more. Yeah, this feels like this card is really a sign that when you follow your heart and when you trust your intuition, your true calling will be revealed to you in a really natural and effortless way. And this is also about releasing the tendency to compare ourselves to others, because your calling is uniquely your own. And whether you're like, whatever you're here to create, it's really unique to you. Yeah, so the Naked Heart card is just about following that, following those passions, and using your intuition to let it guide you. Let's see what other messages we can get. We got Birds of a Feather for you, number 25. Let's get another card for you. Oh, wow. Let's take the top one. That was a lot. And we have It Is What It Is. Oh, I think that's a beautiful message for you. A major shift that you could be finding is going on for you is that you could be kind of entering this space where you're finding a lot of like-minded people. So with this creator energy, you might be like entering this creative space where you're able to connect with people who are on the same page as you. I do think that for some of you who are releasing old bonds and old connections that just aren't fitting anymore, this is really beautiful energy, because this is the energy of you kind of welcoming in new connections that are more of a fit for you and people who are more on the same page with you. Let me try to move this over. You can't see your cards. Yeah, so this is really beautiful, because if you've been hesitant to kind of let go of some old connections, or maybe just spend a little less time around people who are bringing you down, this is kind of a message that you're going to be finding people who are very uplifting. So not to worry about anything that you might need to leave in the past. I see this as you being on the same page with someone or several people, so this could be about a romantic connection coming into your life, which is always really exciting. And then on the opposite end, we have It Is What It Is, which I kind of love, because we were talking about this inkling that you might have, and this card is all about acceptance. I think this speaks to this call that you may have been hearing and maybe not responding to for a while. I think you're going to reach a point where you accept whatever this call has been trying to tell you. So this could be the things that that this call has been trying to tell you about yourself, and maybe some of the avenues that your higher self would like you to venture down. This can be little like nudges and indications that something's not quite right with that job or with that relationship, with that friendship, with the way that you're managing your time. And there's this part of you that's like, just gonna come to terms with it so that you can step into the creator energy and make something new. So all of that resistance that I was picking up on is like falling away. This energy of It Is What It is just like, it just feels like a lighter energy. It just feels like okay, I accept it. If that's not working anymore, then fine, it's not working. And I can make the appropriate changes. I can be the creator of my own life, and I can do what I need to do to fix it. So that's actually really beautiful and encouraging energy. So I actually shuffled some advice for you earlier, and we're going to look at your cards. You had 4 cards come out. Let's see what we have. We have Be Brave, Express Yourself, Angels, I love that, and Let It Go. I think you have a lot of guidance right now. So you have some angels, some guides in your corner. This can be loved ones that have crossed over that are really watching out for you, and they're really helping you to discover these areas of your life that could be improved, these areas of your life that could make you a lot happier if you made these little changes. So whether those are your guides or people that you knew here in the earth realm that have crossed over, you definitely have someone watching out for you and nudging you. So that could have been why you've had these little inklings or these indications, because someone's nudging you in the right direction. And there's this message for you to be really brave about taking the plunge and making some of these changes. I think that because there was a little bit of hesitation to do this, you know, it does require a lot of bravery on your part. This might be about stepping into an unknown place here, but yeah, you're being called to step into that bravery and to do what's right for you. Speak up for yourself. Let that passion be expressed, and let go of some of those old things that are no longer serving you. Put down those 10 wands, because you don't have to carry this around with you. So there are certain things that just need to fall away, and that's going to make room for new, beautiful things to come in. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, letting me read your cards. If you liked this video, if it resonated, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button, and hopefully I will see you again really soon in another reading. Bye!